This is the point I want to make. Coming for the 2020 election, Guyanese, we really, no matter what race you are, we really got to weigh our option. Putting aside race and weighing our options. The only way Guyana could get ahead is if we ask ourselves what government is actually workable, what government will listen to the people, what government, even when they're wrong, you can get through to them. Now, say we weigh the options and we say, all right, we look back in the past and we say, look what we previously come out of for the 23 years when the opposition party was in, right? We got to ask ourselves when towards the end, when it was coming down to election, when they had the recording with Nandalal and it come out with whatever he was saying, and he was like, well, that was a private conversation. Well, regardless of how the law play it, my issue with something like that is that if when corruption is exposed, what do you do about it? And if you have a party that is going to actually allow things like that, because he never stepped down, he was asked to step down and he never stepped down. So to me, them type of attitude is the wrong and strong. And we gotta ask ourselves, Guyana right now, with the oil situation, we're going into a lot of money. We entering into a whole different era, meaning like Guyana, it could change the face of Guyana. And what we don't want is a wrong and a strong. So I'm not gonna make this a PPPC versus coalition and or vote for coalition and don't vote for people. I'm just saying weigh your options. I want people to start actually thinking for yourself and stop. To me, it's childish when you actually come down to that whole race voting. It's really childish because if you're not getting what you want out of life, then it doesn't matter who's in office and how much they look like you or how much they're your race or they're the same religion as you, whatever. If you're not getting what you want out of life, you got to ask yourself that. And I say the big thing that people say, and this is how um, neutral I would call myself neutral. When people say, okay, the current government doesn't have a vision, I would say, you know what? In reality, if they don't have a vision, that's where the people come into play. That's when the people say, hey, well, this is what we want. This is what we want to see in the country. But if the government is workable, they'll work with you. But we know for the last 23 years, we come out a wrong and strong type of leadership. So we got to ask ourselves, are we trying to go back into the? Because you could have a vision, or you could have the best vision. But if your vision ties into corruption, and if your vision doesn't include all Guyanese, then you already know where that's going. That's going right back. No matter how much the oil work out to be, we know only a few people gonna see it. So I could say factually, these are facts. You look at the present government, for instance, if we were to map out the time they've been in office, um, and most people have been saying, hey, what they do within 4 years, they didn't create no jobs, whatever. You ask yourself, the first year, you remember Venezuela, when the oil kicked in, Venezuela was trying to say what was theirs. They were trying to claim some of our land, right? Claim some of Guyana land. The government, Granger, he was spending most of his time going around getting help. That if a war or if Venezuela invade Guyana, then we got some kind of help to protect what's ours. So most of that time there was spent defending Guyana and defending our borders. Then you tell yourself, um, and these are obstacles within 3.5. Because you can't say it's a full term. You got to say the cancer situation that Granger had, and I'm not using these as an excuse. I'm just saying it's not fair to ask somebody what you did when they didn't really have a full term. We got to be honest. So when it comes to the whole cancer story, and then you had the when the cancer story was going on, then you had they filed for the no confidence. Now you think of how fair or how logic or how reasonable is even a situation like that, to where you see somebody's fighting for the life and you say, okay, yeah, I'm gonna put something into play, um, to see how it, to see if this person could get themselves out of it. I thought that was a trap, and we know how that ended up. So for some that saying that, okay, the government right now is currently illegal, you know you're not being reasonable with yourself. You know you're not being reasonable with yourself, because how that whole thing went down, it wasn't fair. It was a trap. But I don't want to get too much on that. I want to go back to what I was saying when it comes to Guyana and weighing your options, because we can be the next richest country. It's been said by people that's not from Guyana, from sources that have weighed and saw countries improve off oil. And my biggest imagination when it comes to Guyana is that a government that is free from corruption. And I feel, if any, because the evidence is here, before 3 years ago, we have to ask, when have you ever seen somebody in parliament lose the position because of corruption? We saw that. We saw people that was in corruption get lose the position. We saw that happen. So you gotta ask yourself, a government that's trying to stay away from corruption, how much of a possibility our country have? How much of a possibility Guyana have to making it to a first world nation? Because the small minded thinking in the past, and I would say even before PPP got into government for the 23 years, that mentality of, oh, I'm gonna just take for me and everybody I know, and then I'm gonna let everybody else starve. The silly thing about that is Guyana have so much resources that if those MPs were to do things the right way, the money that they were stealing would actually be their salary. And that's how sometimes when I daydream, I daydream about if they can catch that concept. And I really feel the current government is not far from it. I think they have the ability, and I'm not trying to sway anybody into whatever. I just say, even if you disagree with me, give me a good, besides the whole illegal, the government is illegal and whatever. Give me a good why going into 2020. Um, why the opposition would be better than the present government. Give me a solid comeback. Give me a solid, um, a solid argument. Not put aside this race nonsense, because that's not getting us anywhere. What I'm saying, a government that, for instance, when the meter story, when they had the meter and they implement putting in the meters and the parking meters, and a lot of people was against it. You saw even people that voted for this present government was standing up and saying, "Oh no, I don't, we don't like them." And that's, to me, I see that as progress. I see a government that, if they're wrong, no government is perfect, but a government that can interact and know, okay, I'm wrong. All right, let me see if I can shift or change this or whatever. The whole wrong and strong thing that we come out of, like I said, everybody know. You remember, yeah, I mean, don't be forgetful. You remember even when a teacher stand up and talk up or whatever, and the government boxing them down and whatever, we don't want to go back into that bully system. So as much as we can claim like this government is illegal, we came out of a bully system. So, I mean, some of y'all could, I try to take it all the way far back to Barnum, but Barnum is dead and gone. And if we want to take it there, are we saying that we're gonna accept it because, oh, it coming from okay, this person is Indian, I'm East Indian, and yeah, you can do, I'll let you get away with corruption, or you're black, I'm gonna let you get away with corruption. No, that doesn't get us anywhere. So we got to start really weighing our options. Guyanese people really, really step away from that whole race voting or race baiting, and ask ourselves that we want our country to take it to the next level. And the only way it can happen is purging ourselves, ridding ourselves of the whole corruption business. Because corruption is like a hole in a bucket. It just takes away from what we actually could be having. Because that oil, my vision I see, if the government catch this, the present government catch this, that oil should be able to open up doors um for gold, for the bauxite, and all we other minerals and all we other resources. That oil should be able to open up doors for them. Even when it comes to the whole electricity situation, that oil should be able to things that um, people didn't loan, they wouldn't loan us the money to do that project with the hydro electricity story. No, we would have the money to do it. But like I said, the only way that could happen is if we do not think when it comes to 2020. If I write March, we gotta make wise decision. We gotta make a wise decision for our country, for our children's future, for the future of Guyana. So leave me your feedback. Like I said, leave race out there. Give me a good solid argument if you disagree. All right.